When I first started collecting, I would not have considered myself to be a fan of supercars or hypercars. To a great extent, I've always found them to be pretty unattractive in a lot of cases. But one of the first cars that I picked up when I was starting to explore premium brands was this blue Pagani Huayra from Mini GT, and this kind of seeded a real appreciation for Pagani as a brand, and in general, I think it really, got me to open my eyes a little bit more to finding the inner beauty in these, somewhat cumbersome looking cars in a lot of cases. Of the hyper cars that exist, I think Pagani does a pretty good job of designing a pretty elegant looking car. But some of the others are, they're I don't know how to describe them. But we're going to talk about Paganis today, and so I shouldn't dwell too much on other cars. So I just want to do a quick video and show off a few of the Paganis that I have in my collection now, and then I have a couple of new ones to get out of the package and add as well. So, like I mentioned, I began with this Huayra from NEGT, and this is just a beautiful blue, and these very nice gold wheels, nice two-tone interior. You can see the engine tucked back in there, and as always with Mini GTs, you get very nice details. You get these little bendy rubber mirrors, which are absolutely essential on this vehicle, and overall just a beautiful casting. So we're going to take a look at a few premium releases, but before we do that, we're actually going to take a look at some Hot Wheels, because this is one car where Hot Wheels has actually done a quite good job in creating a pretty decent looking model. They've done the non-roadster version. This particular example is not really the best one. This Brembo livery is, it's a little bit goofy, but the casting itself is actually quite nice, and this is a mainline release of it. Obviously there's no mirrors or anything along those lines, and the detail is going to be limited, but there is an engine in there, and overall, for a mainline Hot Wheels, this isn't too bad. And they have, put out a few versions. They did an ID version of this, which looks a little bit better, has a little bit nicer paint work. It gets these ID wheels that are specific to the, to the ID, Hot Wheels ID releases, but it's not bad. And this is, you do get full detail, and it, for a Hot Wheels, they did a good job on these Pagani castings, especially their Roadster, which we'll look at in a second. They've really done a very nice job on these. And then they did a premium release in this Gumball 3000 version, and again, it's a racing livery, so it's a little, it's a not perfect, but the casting overall is quite nice, and it looks pretty good with these wheels. But the one that Hot Wheels has done that I think is really, that they really did well, was their Roadster version, and they've put out a few releases of this now with without any goofy graphics on it, and that really looks nice. Again, for a mainline Hot Wheels, you get the detail where you want it to be, and it's, we looked at this Mini GT earlier, and obviously the Mini GT is much nicer, but the Hot Wheels is not bad at all. It is not out of scale. It has, most of the features that, this interior's decent, and, you get the details where you want them. and it's you know, overall just a very nice looking model for a Hot Wheels. There's a lot of these, you know, they're really not competitive with premium brands, but in this case, the casting itself is really quite good. And then they just put this one out in the convertibles series, and this one is just, it's an absolutely beautiful purple color. And again, this roadster version, they did a really great job on it. It definitely captures the character of the car, and it looks quite nice. So also from Mini GT, I have this one in red, and you know, obviously Mini GT is, you know, 10 to 15 times more expensive than this, right? So you got to be realistic in as far as what you get here, but you know, and it shows, right? I mean, obviously this is a much nicer model. There's no doubt about that. You have much better detail throughout. You have a nicer interior, and every aspect of this is better. You know, it's metal on metal, and it's heavier. It feels better in the hand, and you know, there's no argument about that. But I did, you know, really want to highlight how well Hot Wheels has done with these models. So I have this, you know, the blue one, the red one. Then I have two more here that I want to get out of the package, including this really beautiful orange one. Rancio, I don't know how you would say that, Saint-Tropez. And this is a Miho exclusive. It says it's a USA exclusive. And again, I don't really know what this means, because it seems like the ones, even the ones that are labeled USA exclusives, are available in international releases. So I don't know. I don't really know what Miho's doing with these, but this one looks just fantastic. This is number 78. So this is a fairly old Mini GT release, but yeah, this just looks awesome. Blacked out wheels and this beautiful orange, and then of course, you know, the detail all where you want it. There's not a major difference between this one and these other ones, except for this printing here, this gray in the front, which looks quite nice. But otherwise, it's the same casting, same wheels, even just different color. But yeah, this one's beautiful. This may be my favorite of these so far. Gorgeous. Okay, and I have one more. This one was a Hong Kong exclusive, I believe. Yeah, Hong Kong exclusive. And this comes in this different Mini GT packaging, which is basically a Lego brick. It's actually pretty cool. It would be kind of interesting if they had done this packaging more often. Get it out of the box. So as you can see, the package is basically a Lego brick, and these, you know, these will stack. So if we have, if I can, well, maybe I'm not going to do that. I was going to try to pull another one out. I have several of these Hong Kong exclusives, but these are the only ones that come in this type of packaging. And then there's like a door that opens here to get the car out. Which is perhaps easier said than done. It's a little hung up on the hinge. Come on. All right, there we go. So, very cool packaging. Unfortunately, I don't keep things in the packaging, so it's not particularly useful to me, but This one's really beautiful as well. This looked much better than I was expecting it to. You know, it's pretty much the same as this. You know, the design. It did get a red stripe here on the front. It's again the same wheels, and everything else is pretty much the same. Black interior instead of two-tone. Oh, it's also a right-hand drive versus left-hand drive. That's interesting. It makes sense. I mean, this is a Hong Kong exclusive, I think, since Hong Kong was a UK, what was it, a UK controlled city? I don't know what it was officially called, but maybe they drive on the right. Yeah, so again, same details, but this looks fantastic too. I do think I still like the orange one a little bit better, but that's very, very cool as well. It's actually much better looking than I was expecting from looking at it in the package. Okay, so the next one is this one from Tarmac Works. This is a Zonda R. Actually, you know what? Before we look at that one, I have one more Pagani Huayra. So this yellow one, this is a little bit of a mystery model. I'm pretty sure this is an LCD model, but it came in packaging that is, it just has Pagani brand on it. It doesn't have any other information on it at all. And on the bottom of it, it says NY model. But from the way it was packaged and from looking around online to find similar things, I'm pretty sure this is an LCD model. I also think it's resin. I don't think it's die cast. It's very light, and it doesn't feel cold like a metal casting typically would. But it's a little bit of a mystery model to me, but it is a very beautiful one. This one is not the Roadster, obviously, but it has excellent detail overall. Beautiful interior, two-tone seats, and some good detail on the steering wheel and the instruments. See if we can zoom in a little bit more in there. You can even see inside the dashboard there. It looks like maybe gauges or something in there. But nice carbon fiber pattern in this whole area. Let's look at one of these up close. Yeah, so you can see this has a little bit more detail to that to make it look more like carbon fiber, whereas on the Mini GT it's kind of a gray, just a gray paint. But anyway, yeah, like I said, and I'm not entirely sure who makes this, but it is a beautiful model. So very cool. Okay, now the Zonda. So this is a Tarmac Works Global64 release, Zonda R. A lot of people have shown this car. That's kind of the vehicle that, or the release that put Tarmac Works Global64 on the map for a lot of people, and it did for me. It got me to really take a look at them, and I've since picked up almost everything that they've put out. So, you know, if you're not familiar with Tarmac Works Global64, they are very similar quality to Mini GT. And if you're not familiar with Mini GT, then I highly recommend you become familiar with Mini GT and Tarmac Works Global64 both. They make fantastic releases. And the big thing that I really like about these is that they are meant to be held, you know, and they do roll, which is, you know, seems like a silly thing. Unlike this one, doesn't really roll. It kind of sort of rolls. If you push on it hard enough, it'll roll, but it's not really meant to roll. But they have, you know, the rubberized mirrors, so that you don't have to really worry about as much about breaking them off. You have to be careful with these models. These aren't toys. They're not meant to truly be played with, but they are meant to be held. and looked at up close in the way that we're doing here, which is a thing that I really like. I don't, you know, I feel a disconnect when I have a model that has to stay on its little plinth and live in its acrylic case, which, you know, is somewhat the case with this one, but not really, because this actually has the little rubberized mirrors as well, so it can live outside of its case. So yeah, so this was a beautiful release. It's a very cool car. Obviously this is, you know, basically a race car for the road kind of thing, or this may even be just like a track day car. If I remember right, maybe this is a track day car, so it's not actually street legal anywhere, but I could certainly be wrong about that. I did some research on these a while back, but I've since forgotten about it. And then we have one other one, also from Tarmac Works Global64, and another Zonda. This is the Zonda Revolution Grigio Knockhill Edition. I have no idea what that means, but this is mostly the same casting as the Zonda R. It does have a different wing. It has a shark fin here, and the base is different. So anything that's part of the base is a little bit different, but the core casting itself is the same, and just the finishing is different, and the details are a little bit different. But another beautiful release. But if you're interested in these, I highly recommend this one, because this is much less expensive. This one was kind of expensive. This was like $40, whereas this one cost $15. And you know, there's no difference in the quality of them. They are just slightly different castings, and they both have the same features, and you know, even the same wheels, and so on and so forth. So they are quite similar. So I do recommend this one. This one only if you really want to be a completionist, I guess. I'm glad to have it. I think it's very cool, but it's not worth the price difference over the regular Zonda R release. You do get the cool Italian colors here on the little winglets on the front, which is pretty sweet. So, all right. So this is my Pagani collection. I just wanted to do a short video to show these off and get these last two out of the package. And you know, these are both better than I was expecting. You know, looking at them in the package, they both came out better than I was expecting. But this orange one, this thing is just beautiful. I think this is the winner for me at the moment. Love the blacked out wheels. It's fantastic. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.